in the cosmos bright. Stars and ships take flight tonight. In the void where dreams do play, soul citizens lead the way. Borders fade in nebula's light. Unknown worlds will chart tonight. Through the galaxy we soar. Endless journeys at our core. Borders fade in nebula's light. Unknown worlds will chart tonight. Through the galaxy we soar. Endless journeys at our core. Starry roads in endless skies. Soul citizens we rise. Charting courses never lost. Together the verses crossed. Squadrons call on the horizon. Battles fought, our hearts aren't frightened. In our ships we face the dawn. Soul citizens carry on. Oh, planets spin and light years fly. Boundless space where hopes reside. Motherhood in every star. Soul citizens, here we are. Borders fade in nebula's light. Unknown worlds will chart tonight. Through the galaxy we soar. Endless journeys at our core. Starry roads in endless skies. Soul citizens we rise. Charting courses never lost. Together the verses crossed.
Hello, greetings, and welcome back to the Soul Citizens. I'm GriffinGamingRPG, and we are back. Today is September the 21st, and I'm joined today by my co-producer and good friend, the one and only Fastcart FC. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Happy fall to you. Today's the first day of fall, I believe, as far as I know. Like you changed it on me like daylight saving time can't sometimes.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I'm doing okay. It's hard to believe that September, we're almost going into October already, right? It's like time is flying by. 2026 will be upon us.
Until CitizenCon.
Yeah, that's ticking down too as well. Not very far away. And yeah, I think it's been interesting to see, people's feelings about CitizenCon. There's kind of like and then there's also still people who are like, yeah, I'm still looking forward to seeing what they're going to do, even though it's not the normal big event, 2-day event.
Even though it's only going to be 2 hours.
Yeah, but I think there's still curiosity, right? I think that CIG, I could be wrong. I think they know they've got to bring something to the table, right? Especially reducing from what is normally let's see, 9 plus another 6 or 7, normally a 14, 15 hour event, being reduced down to 2 hours. And they've said that they're going to really focus on what our expectations are and what we can look forward to over the next year. So I still think that could be a good thing. I was going to say this. It's funny because I remember there was a crowd or a voice or a group that felt they didn't want to hear long-term, long-range vision stuff. They wanted to hear like what's coming immediately. And now they're doing what's coming immediately. And then there are people saying, yeah, but we want to know what's going to happen long term. So it's kind of like, I don't know if it's like, they can't win either way. I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
I don't know. I don't know who's vocal, the one who want long term or the one who want immediate. Now, I don't know which one. It feels like the ones who are more immediate are more vocal. But I see. I'm part of the long-term camp, so show me what's coming down the line. But I was going to say, you say 16 hours. No, CIG is going back to their roots. But 2013 CitizenCon was only 2 hours. I don't know how long 2014 was. 2014 was about 2 hours too, wasn't it? So
yeah.
Go back to their roots.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they are, but those were still in person. right? Those were still in person. And I'm saying we've gotten used to the 2-day thing now, right? You know, that 14, 16-hour day of, 2 days of full of information. And now, not only are we not meeting in person, but we're also within that 2-hour bracket. And like you said, for us old guys, we remember when it was that long. It wasn't very long. And, we felt like we got a ton of information. I think, it's kind of like what happened with the, what did they call it? The progress report. Not the progress report, but the roadmap, right?
The roadmap.
It's like there was some people who didn't have a problem with the full year roadmap and kind of gave room for that thing to be flexible and for it to change and adjust. And there were some people who felt like if stuff didn't pop up that was on that roadmap, then it was a problem. So in a way,
other people saying CIG promised.
Yeah,
they said they're going to put this out.
Well, or the promising, or just the fact that it was even on there was enough for some people. Right. And if something got pulled, then it caused a lot of friction. So now that they've reduced it down to just that next quarter, you don't hear a lot of the static. So you have to kind of wonder if doing citizen cons like this, that maybe just a year's time or maybe a little bit more, because I think that quite often the community, when they would see something, there was the anticipation. Whether CIG said it was coming within the next year or not, there was just anticipation. Like when we saw the worm, right? There was just anticipation. There was nothing said that, the worm's going to be here next year. But we saw it, and we saw it in engine, and we saw it looking very cool. And so there was this assumption that, that must be coming soon, right? The sandstorm. It must be coming soon. Now, there were things that did come soon. The Ursa rover came, the Dragonfly came, but then there were some things that didn't, right? And so, it'll be interesting to see as they do this CitizenCon Direct. And I think this is based upon what they've said, that this is mainly because they're trying to stay focused on getting Squadron out next year. I don't think this is going to be the norm. I think that as the game grows, cons will obviously be, we can see that in the industry. BlizzCon, all the other people have cons. So I don't think we have to worry about this, but it is an interesting feeling. What were you going to say?
I was there. We were there in LA in 2016 when we first started WARM. Now 2016 when we first started. Can you imagine it would take 8-9 years for it to see it in game?
No, no, because there were things
I was thinking maybe 4.
I think my problem was that, like I said, there was some stuff that we saw in that presentation that we got like within a year, 2, 3, 4 years. And then there were the other things that we just didn't get, right? Dynamic weather, for example. Well, Ben Merchant wasn't in that video.
It was 3.8. Supposed to come on past 3.8.
No. You talked about when we were in 2016. I'm talking about the presentation. No, I'm talking about the worm presentation. The Banu Merchantman was not shown in engine at that time.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about stuff that was shown in engine. I'm saying some of that stuff that was in engine made people feel like, well, it's an engine and we've seen it demonstrated. And then there's the other stuff that took till just recently. We just saw the worm just within the last year we saw it in CitizenCon, and then this year we finally get it. So yeah, I'm just referring to the fact that I think that sometimes those presentations gave people that assumption that something was right around the corner, and some things weren't.
I'll say one thing: when people saw base building, we definitely knew that wasn't around the corner anytime soon.
Yeah,
and the space station.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think people felt that way because of what's happened in the past. See, I think if they didn't have all that past experiences of stuff not being delivered, they wouldn't feel that way. But I think that now people kind of protect their psyche a little bit. Like when something comes, it's like the old default thing. Yeah, in 2 years. Right. In 2 years, right. That's the way we protect ourselves. Right. Because we don't want to get disappointed thinking that maybe it's going to come soon, because in the past people thought something, and there have been times when CIG showed something and it popped up within a year and a half. And then there were times where stuff just never popped up. Right. We just didn't see it. Right. We saw the Banu Merchant, to your point. Remember when we saw it in engine? and we saw it at that outpost. Remember, it was hovering, docked, you know.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that again, you know, that makes people feel like, wow, they must be going somewhere with it, you know. And it's like, yeah, it's going somewhere, all right back into the drawing board, right? So, you know, all depends, right? But yeah, it is interesting to see. So we'll see what CitizenCon Direct is about. I'm looking forward to it. I am. I think that CIG knows that it's important that they deliver something good.
And I may mess around and joke around that it's only 2 hours this time, but I hope that they pack a lot into those 2 hours. That's all.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Okay, well, listen. Today, our title is Star Citizen worth it? That's going to be a question that we're going to try to address today. Kind of like is your bang for your buck. We're going to be kind of coming from that perspective. We're going to come from some more esoteric kind of topics too, in relation to this. But we're going to touch on this a little bit for you all. Let's fastcart do our Star Citizen this week, though, right? We've got to do that first, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So, you know what? I don't remember what slide I put it on. I hope I put it on this slide here. I honestly do not remember. Let's see if I put it on the right slide. Okay, it's not there.
That ain't right. That ain't it.
That ain't right. That ain't right. That ain't right. Okay, I know. Maybe it's on the first page. Maybe it's back on the main page. This is a shame. I was doing so much this weekend. This weekend I was a little discombobulated. Okay, so it's not there. Let me see, where is it? Where's this stuff at? It was supposed to be on this page, and I think I put it on the other page. So let me go back.
Have you tried turning it off, turn it back on again?
Let's go back. Let's go back. All right, hang on a second. I'm going
professional streamers, gang. Professional streamers.
This is professional work here. You know what? You know why it's not here?
You didn't put it on there?
I didn't put it on here. That's why it's not here. Let me go back.
That'd be a good reason then.
Okay. Oh no, you know what? I did put it in here. What am I talking about? It is here. I'm just, you know what? I'm thinking it was something text. So, okay. So the very first thing we talked about, right, is this week Star Citizen. I know I told you I had some stuff going on this weekend. My mind is elsewhere.
No problem, Griff.
Yeah. The first thing we want to talk about with you guys is Behind the Ships came out this week. And that was on the Apollo. And we know that last week CIG had announced the Apollo was going to be out. We knew it was going to come out. It got launched last week. And they did their video for it. But this was kind of like a hearing it from the devs and the development side of it. So FC and by the way, we're not going to go into this in depth today because next week our show is on medical and the Apollo next weekend. Right. So we're just going to do a little overview right now. So FC, your thoughts on this video or just the Apollo itself?
I think it looked cool. It had that Enterprise Utopia Polynesian look. I like the look. I'm not getting one. I'm not spending money. I like money to get it. I might make it in game somewhere down the line. But between this and the Terrapin Medevac, I mean, I kind of like the Terrapin because it should be more. Should be able to withstand damage more because you know it's a Terrapin. But this one has a tier 1 bed, so. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how. I mean, we're still in alpha, so people are doing stuff in alpha that they may not do in 1.0 or what have you. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how game style changes with the player base when 1.0 actually happened with regard to medical.
Yeah. One of the faces that just popped up on the screen right there is Chris Smith, who's somebody we hadn't seen in a long time. Chris has been around since the very beginning, working on ships. And I know he worked on ships like the Cutlass and reworks on the 300 series and other stuff. And I'm happy to see he's still there working on ship development. Yeah, regarding the design stuff here, you're right. It does have a little bit of the Star Trek Starfleet design as well as pulling from the RSI Connie designs, which is nice. There's more refinement here. It seems like with the RSI ships, there's more and more refinement happening each time they put these ships out. And obviously from the Zeus, we could see that there's some lessons learned that translate into this ship. Again, not going to go into any deep details about it. We're going to save the Apollo show for next week with our pros and cons on it.
Did you get one?
No. No,
No. Okay.
I want one, but I've told you I have a monetary limit that I won't buy ships that are under a certain price because it gives me a goal to work for them in game, and so this is one of those ships. Usually, if it's less than $300 or $400, I don't get it. I'm willing to grind for it. Um, and I've got a Pisces, I've got a Cuddy Red, but those came in packages. So, um, but I am. It's interesting. I am very interested in the medical profession. This has also been interesting because not only did this ship come in as something that people have been anticipating, but there's also been the new developments in medical that have come up. And those have obviously created a lot of conversation about the direction and future that Star Citizen has gone in. Let me ask you this question, and we're going to go on to our next topic. Are you surprised at the reaction of the community now that CIG is moving forward with the medical gameplay the way that, not to be funny, they talked about a long time ago? Or are
Right.
you, or are you not surprised that, there's been the reaction?
I'm both not surprised and still disappointed
Yeah.
because people who have been paying attention knew this stuff was coming. We knew about Death of a Space Person. I'm saying Death of a Space Person long for a while now. So people who are vocal about the changes and stuff like that. I mean, do some research. CID had told us this stuff was coming, so I don't know why they're acting surprised or fake acting they're surprised as the case may be. So yeah, I'm both not surprised and still disappointed.
Yeah. I mean, I think the do your research thing is kind of a easy thing to say to a certain degree. Because Death of a Space Person, Space Man, Space Woman, Space Thing was a long time ago. It was 13 years ago. And a lot of people who've come into the game, it's not like when a game comes in, you automatically go back to say, well, let me go back and look at the history of how this game was developed. There's so many facets to that's about vision, about where they want to go. And some of those things come into fruition. Some of them don't, or some of them, to your point, just haven't come into fruition yet. Right. So trying to determine what is going to happen, what might happen, what probably won't happen can be maybe difficult for players who are coming in brand new. I will say this, though, to your point, for people who've been around for any length of time, maybe they got comfortable and got used to some things. I know the subject came up when the Cuddy Red came out, or the Nursa came out. And we tried to tell people, don't worry, this medical thing is evolving. This back 1,000 lives thing is going to have something tied to it, and
Right.
maybe folks didn't hear us, but I don't think we were surprised. And I think some of us were even looking forward to the changes. And this is still going to get refined more and more. We're still not completely there yet, but we're getting the direction of what's going to create more balance and make people consider and reconsider how they play the game, which is something that we want them to do, right? We want people to think, not that it stifle people, but maybe people will think differently when they play the game in the future. And that's whether it's Death of a Space Person, Death of a Spaceship, which is what Richard Tryrer called it later on. That becomes an issue later too. Wait till that kicks in, right? When that kicks in, we're going to also have some reaction at that point. What are you going to say?
Wait till you respawn and don't have an arm or weapons on you. You just respawning in the hospital gown. Well, we did that. They
Which
did
we
that for
used
a while,
to, which we
but
used
that
to
could
do.
have come back.
Yeah, which we
That
used
could
to
have come
do.
back.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let me clarify. When I said do research, I mean, let's say that someone is surprised about a change in CIG, and then say, why is CIG doing it? I'm saying then go back,
look into it and find out.
say,
Yeah, they didn't just make it up. Yeah, they didn't just make it
Yeah.
up. Yeah, there's some history
Right.
to it. No, that's a
what I
good
meant.
point.
That's what I meant when I say when I said research.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's some stuff, and there will be some things that will come up that catch us by surprise, right? That changes or implementations that maybe we didn't anticipate. But there's a lot of stuff that happens that they at some point have had conversation about, right? And you're right. It does help to, or just ask, right? Just ask some people, hey, where'd this come from?
Ask somebody. Ask somebody.
Somebody might just kind of tell you, man, they talked about that 7 years ago, So, all right, no, but that's a good point. Okay. Well, that is our little piece that we'll talk about behind the ships with the RSI Apollo. Let's watch the video, though. The one other thing that happened was the actual launch for Alpha 4.3.1. for Virtue's Descent. And we're going to watch this. It's only a short video. If you guys haven't seen it, fine. If you have, you know what's coming. So let's take a look at that.
Hey, it's me. I'm grounded on Pyro 4. Any chance you're nearby?
Location received. On my way. Just another day in paradise. If you can hear me, I'm coming. Where are you? Can you hear me? Whoa, stay down. Let me look. What? This can't be. What have they done?
Alrighty. Let me give a shout out to Pops in Space, CC Creator, and Thracazox. Thank you guys so much for your continued subbing. We appreciate each of you. Thank you. And thank you for the gift subs to everybody. FC, there's a pattern that's been taking place recently, where we've noted that these trailers that CIG has been putting out now are literally tying in a narrative kind of way, right? They're not just selling a ship or selling a patch, but there's a storyline now that's connecting. How have you been feeling about that since they've been moving in this direction now?
Kind of jarring at first, but now I'm kind of used to it. Especially, the one with most jarring for me, I think, was the last one. We talked about the mad scientist one.
Mhm.
That one felt like it came from out of nowhere for me. I mean, I've been paying attention to the story, but that narrative, or type of narrative, isn't something we see from CIG. I don't want to say if ever, but too often. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So that one took me by surprise. But now that I know what to expect, I'm like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Some of the things that I noticed about this is like, I didn't know Captain Jones was going to be featured in this video, because he's the kind of guy who can solo at ASD, and him and Toki can solo this stuff. So hats off to both of them for being featured, because this is a one person show right there, basically. Other thing, I do like the armor undersuit. It's available on the store right now. I'm not gonna get either one of them, but I do like the color scheme. But yeah, that's a medical thing. I don't know if anyone has them already. There's been we take guesses as to what the visor or how the AR and different in the visor for a medical one. But if anyone has one in chat, let us know how it's different from a typical helmet. I'm interested in that.
Yeah, there are 3 of them. Actually, there's a light, medium, and heavy of that configuration for medical, which is kind of nice. I'm hoping, to your point, that this, we CIG has been implementing these different helmets that provide different things. And one of the things I'm hoping comes out of this, we've talked about people who want to do medical gameplay being able to treat wounded people in a different perspective than an average person. So I'm hoping that things like that will start to show injury. Because personally, I think like the med gun, I want the med gun to not do what it does anymore. I don't want it to be where I can put it on somebody and it shows me their injury. I want the med gun to work the way it does, but I want it to be that you have to have that helmet on to see what the injury is and how to address what the person's problem is. Now that kind of creates a career.
Harder, Griff?
No, it's not harder. It creates a career. It creates a career space, right, that we've been looking for medical people to have relevance. Because if everybody can do what a doctor does, then you just don't have a reason for that career. So to your point, I think that the helmets, scanning devices, and things like that become more specialized. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean that a person can't use a med gun. I'm saying that if you've got this suit on, you can use the med gun the right way. Right. That's what I mean, that you can use it in a more optimum and more efficient way. And so I'm hoping that that's the kind of direction. We've talked about that with the others helmets that are coming out, certain helmets that will scan. We've already got one now that scans, other things that will do different things. And I'm hoping, to your point, that helmet does do some type of specialized thing. Outside of that, the storyline about ASD is continuing. And one of the things that I'm excited about, I'm extremely excited about the fact that the narrative team that has been around since 2013 is now starting to shine, right? That the lore just isn't being written in newsletters or on the website, but that we're starting to see the lore actually happen in game. And to me, that's awesome. Exactly. All of that stuff now, that hard work that they have laid, that groundwork, because people have asked, Sirius asked this question before, and it's a good question. He said, how much of what you see on that splash page do you think is actually in the game or just fluff? And when we read that page, there are things in there. Like, for example, is the flat cat fluff, or is the flat cat a hint toward what we're moving toward, right? That's
people
the type.
Want the flat cat.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. We'll see, but
go ahead. I was going to say.
I was going to say that Rooster 101 said it's just a standard heavy armor in when white. So
that's what it is right now. That's what it is right now. But again, that's why I'm saying I'm hoping that these things start to build out, right? The features and these. And the reason why we know this is because remember when CIG showed us how pockets and patches and all that stuff will start to mean something later on? All of us have got armors with that stuff, but none of it's doing anything. So I'm hoping that what these suits of armor are designed for start to build out now. Like that eyepiece you talked about needs to have some. We know that the monocle, right? The monocle that people get for concierge, it has a function. It's not just decorative. So I'm just saying I hope that we start to see that happen personally.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Let's see. Like one more thing here that was in that clip. Once again, I have not done the third part of this mission yet. I'm looking forward to doing it. A lot of people did it in the PTU. I stayed away from it because I honestly want to, these last few storyline pieces, I've been wanting to literally just step into them and enjoy them. I didn't want to feel pressured. I didn't want to feel like it was a rush. I just want to kind of go into these activities and really kind of absorb them. And I did it with the worm last week. I finally did the worm for the first time. It was a lot of fun doing it. I went in with some people who had done it in the past, but it still felt new to me because I'd never gotten to the part where we had to fight the worm, and it was really a lot of fun doing it. And so I'm kind of looking forward to doing ASD2 the same way, or this science lab part rather the same way. I'm looking forward to it. And if you studied your lore, which I know you have, Fastcart, you would have known where this was ending because we told people. We already knew what the tie-in here was lore-wise. At least I did. I said it to people, and people didn't believe me. They're like, I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, you got to study your lore, right? So it's kind of cool to see that the lore is tied in.
We talked about this already. That's too much to study. You got 13 years.
Well, yeah.
To get through.
That's true. Okay, well, that's it. That's our opening for what's been going on this week. There's more stuff. There's some great videos that were put out. There was a video put out, by the way, which I will recommend very quickly. I posted it in our Discord, but it's called, and I can drop it in for you folks to take a look at it. There are some people that do these. There's quite a few people that do these from time to time. But this one was done by 5 Star. and it's called Shadow Patch Notes. I'm popping it in here right now. If you guys have not seen that video, feel free to take a look at it. It goes into just more different things. You know, sometimes the patch notes list everything, and then there's other things that are getting dropped in that we find out about later on. So just take a glance at that, get some good information about things that are in this patch that maybe you didn't know about. You will notice that there's some great lighting passes and some things that have been done on certain vehicles in the game too. I didn't know this fast cart, but the Tumbrel AA, the one that has the rockets on the back, is working again supposedly. And so,
Oh, really?
yeah, for the anti-air one, yeah, it's been not working for a while. And so there's some great notes that are in that video. Just take a look at it when you guys get some time, and I think that you will enjoy it.
I have a quick video I want to recommend also. It's from Min. Meta weapon you must use in FPS PvP. I'll drop that in the chat real quick.
Yep.
It's updated, so yeah, people can know which weapon to bring, especially to PvP but just in general.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a good video for people to watch also.
And just so you'll know, guys, it's about what the meta is for now. As you guys know, the meta changes all the time. So don't get married to any particular weapon because things change. But it is a very informative, and it's a comparative thing, so you can hear about different weapons and stuff too, which is nice. Thanks, Fastcart. That's a very good suggestion.
Use my scalpel, Griffin. You talking about don't get married to a weapon?
I still use my scalpel. I do. I like using. I like changing up, to be honest with you. I've been really I won't get into that. There's one weapon that I'm very depressed about that doesn't work very well now. It used to be kind of cool, and that's the Aztav. That thing makes me so mad now. It used to knock down, like if you were at a bunker and there were 2 or 3 guards standing next to each other, if you hit them with that thing, that electricity would go off and stun them all. And now it's like doesn't do squat. It's so frustrating. So frustrating. I thought it was
you got to tell them more hate, Griff. You got to tell them more hate.
You know, now it's like, no, they've given, all the energy is going to the Volt weapons, and I get that. The Volt weapons are the hot new hotness, but I really liked when my Aztav was like, I know a lot of people didn't use it, but as a sniper, because I'm a sniper, I love sniping. So that was my weapon. But anyway, that's another story. Okay. Let's go ahead and jump into this week's topic, which is Star Citizen worth it? We are going to be talking about value. That's our topic today, value. What do we find value in? And are there some areas that maybe CIG could do a little bit better? And then other areas that they're doing all right. You know, I feel like I'm getting my bang for the buck for it. So we're going to be covering a little bit of that today. So let's start off with our very first one. This is an easy one, Fastcart, because this is kind of where we introduce people into the game. And that is starter game packages. Now, when you and I first started, there were only a few of these.
yeah.
If I remember back in the day, what were they? There was the Aurora, right? The
Aurora,
Mustang.
The Mustang was brand new for me.
Okay, but there was a starter for it, though. There was a starter. Was there
the Mustang Alpha?
Was there a? I don't know if there was a Hornet package. Was there?
There was a Hornet.
There was a starter? Was it a starter? There was a starter? Okay.
Yeah, because it was one of the physical packages that it had the green box in it instead of the silver box.
Okay.
Freelancer.
Yeah, but you're right. No, Prisoner, you're right. The Mustang came later. Admittedly, it did come later. Yes.
Okay. Well, it was there when I started in 2014.
Right.
I don't know if it was there when it first.
Was the 300? Was the 300 in that early package too? No. I'm trying to because mind you,
I don't think it was there.
Well, there were a lot of. Here's the difference. There were a lot of ships around back then, guys. I'm talking about what they considered starter packages. That's what I'm really focusing in on.
The Aurora, the Cutlass. Cutlass was a starter, I believe.
Cutlass was a starter. Okay.
Yeah, the Freelancer was a starter. The Hornet was a starter, and the Constellation Taurus.
Okay. All right.
That was 2014. That was 2014.
Okay. So now we've got like a list, and this is kind of funny because this has kind of been forming out. And once again, we talked about this back in the day that maybe CIG would start creating starter packages that were based upon what people wanted to do in the game, right? So now, and the pictures that you guys see right now, this is what's on the website as of this weekend, right? Now, they've got some other stuff on a lot of packages, but these are on the site right now. The first two are like specific to Pirate Week. So I'm not including those because it's Pirate Week and they're going to go away. But the ones that they call them now, there's what they call a Citizen Starter Pack. Mm-hmm. There's a Seeker Starter Pack, a Generalist Starter Pack, a Miner Starter Pack, a Hauler Starter Pack, an Outsider Starter Pack, And then there's what they call the Advanced Duelist Starter Pack and the Advanced Hauler Starter Pack. Now, all these packages are under $100. That's the one thing about them. Okay. They're all under $100. FC, let me ask you, how do you feel about, because there are a lot of people who thought the starters were dead. Like, they don't even think about starter ships, right?
I didn't know about that. Okay.
There are plenty of people who don't even think about a starter. Like they don't even think of them as being useful by any means. Plenty of people that do, but there are a lot of people who never give consideration to them. Or when they get a starter, there's kind of like a dismissal of them. Like, yeah, get a starter, but you can always upgrade it, right? They don't tell people to hang on to a starter, right? So, I mean, what are your feelings about these starter packs and the way CIG has kind of, expanded this thing now?
I still think quite a few of them still got value. Someone mentioned the Avengers Stalker.
Okay.
The Avengers Titan is still a good one in my opinion, but that's not a starter. But I mean, when I started in 2014, there was only one Avenger, and they didn't have the Stalker, the Titan, and the other one I can't think of right now, the third one. But there was only one Avenger, so I don't know if that was a starter or just something you can upgrade to.
Yeah.
But as far as now, maybe it's because I'm old or because I'm so used to, but I think all these names. Yes, okay, you can say a minor starter pack, and you know what that is. But you say duelist or a seeker starter pack, okay, exploration obviously. A generalist. Sure. Okay. That's the cutter. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. I'm just not used to the name.
Yeah. I think that, to your point, that this is now getting into roles, right? Where before starter was just it wasn't about their role in the game. So like you said, the cutter is kind of like a general purpose ship. The for the golem is the ship for the minor starter pack. For the hauler starter pack, you've got an intrepid, right? Where you've got the hauling. They would call the outsider one. That's the alien starter pack. You get the Sayulan, right? And then for those people who are really they want the advanced dueling, it's the arrow. And if they want the advanced hauling, it's an upgrade from the intrepid to going to the outland. Consolidated Outland.
The Nomad?
Nomad, right? So to me, these are breaking down more into roles. And like you said, even the Seeker is the Pisces, right? Just something just easy to get around and explore and look around in. I mean, I like the fact that they've done this, that they've broken it down into more of a, what do you want to do in the game when you come in, instead of just kind of like this general Aurora. Now, interesting too, did you notice the Aurora's not on this list?
Ooh, okay. No, I didn't.
Yeah. They said they were going to be doing some work on the Auroras too. So maybe that's a reason. I don't know. But the Aurora has been forever considered one of the starter ships. And now they don't have it down on here. Now, we know, guys, that they have modulated this list before in the past. Sometimes the Avengers have been on here, blah, 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 blah. We're talking about where it is right now, right? What it is morphed into. What were you going to say? You thought what?
Thought that the Mustang was the one who was taken off because they're going to update or something, but I guess
it's the Citizen Starter Pack. That's the one. That's the Citizen Starter Pack. Okay. So let me ask you a question. Value. Do you feel that there's value now based upon them reworking this now, that people can kind of see what they want to do in the game and get instead? Because before it used to be get an Aurora, then you can work up to the ship or career that you want.
Right.
So if you want to be a miner, let me say this. If you want to be a miner, you had to come in with a base ship, work hard, and pay to get a prospector, which was $150. Now I can come in with a golem at what, 60, 65? 75? Half the price of what it would cost me. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's value, and especially people who are used to paying like $60, $70, or $80 for a game. This fits in there. So people who are just coming in may not know all the upgrades and CCUs or what have you. So they can just look at this page and say, okay, so what interests me? Okay, I'm interested in mining, so I guess I'll get the $75 starter pack, and I'll be good. until they figure out, later on, it's like, oh, there's better ships than this. But I'll get that later.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good point, that people can kind of come in and that whole thing of worrying about having to advance up that pressure isn't there as much. To me, it's really difficult. I find it weird, when you invite people to come play Star Citizen. This is how can I say this? I struggle with inviting people to play Star Citizen because I have to emphasize that waiver of don't spend any more money. And it is so difficult for people not to spend money. You know what I mean?
And so,
well, if you came in, well, let's look at it how it used to be. If you came in with an Aurora or a Mustang, especially if it was a Mustang Alpha, right?
Right.
Eventually, the game almost demanded that you would upgrade to something. You know what I mean?
Right.
And even if you told people, don't spend the money, just, work for it in game. I don't know if it's like some type of marketing hypnosis that they put in these videos or something, but something makes people still
subliminal.
Let me say this, guys. In the early days, people bought ships because there was no alternative. There was no rental. There was no in-game buying. So if you wanted the ship, you basically spent money to get it. But now those options are there to rent, to get in-game,
and buy
and people still talk about cash. Like, and don't get me wrong, that 90 days, you got to wait 90 days, but still, even with that, it's like,
I mean, Griff, to your point, I'm one of the people who didn't stole my my raft that I bought in game at 3.5 million AUEC,
right?
And I lost my raft, so people made it saying that, oh, I don't want to lose my ship, so I'll be able to just put some money in so I'll always have it.
Yeah. It's just interesting.
Especially, I mean, especially if it's disposable income. Like, say you have an extra $60, you can go ahead and get that ship.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about anything ridiculous, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting. Like I said, maybe this is where they call us consumers, right? Because we consume, right? But I'm just saying, even there's something about this game that will still make people, no matter how much advice you say, no matter how much you say, don't spend money, they will still spend money. And I'm not, listen, people can spend money if they want to, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, I try to tell people, don't get caught up into it's very easy to go down the rabbit hole, blah, 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 blah. It's just.
Well, for me, it's like, I tell people the game is not finished yet. So, it will be buggy. But if you find some good people to roll with, you should have fun.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, that's about starter packages. We kind of covered that one. Let's go on to the next topic. Well, okay. So so let me go back to the original question. Is there value to you for starter packages the way they have it structured now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I agree.
Especially,
I think, I agree.
Yeah.
I think
especially like maybe not the Aurora or the Mustang, but definitely for like an Avenger or the Cutter. That's a good value.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. Let's talk about this one. Subscriptions. Now, this has been around a long time. Getting a subscription to Star Citizen is like getting a subscription to Netflix or something, right? You get it and you just have it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not like a WoW subscription, that's for sure.
Yeah, you get the subscription, and sometimes you're watching Netflix, the whole month. Maybe you never watched it. No, well, not you, because I know you like watching a lot of TV stuff, but I know how I am. I have not watched a Netflix something in probably 2 or 3 months, and I pay for it every month, right? My family watches it.
Really?
But no,
why are you still paying for it?
Because my family. I have a family. And they watch it, right? But I'm saying, even if that was the case, it's like, I have Paramount. I've got these weird subscriptions all over the place, right? When we talk about these, CIG has 2 subscriptions, one's for $10, one's for $20. Let's talk about the first one, which is with the Centurion package. The Centurion offers early PTU access. You get to try out one of the vehicles of the month, because usually there's 2 of them. You get one. There's Flare. You get the Flare. You get 1 out of the 2 or 3 that are there. You get 1. You get a 10% discount on any type of merchandise. You get a 10% coupon is it every 6 months fast card or every
12 months for Centurion.
12 months for Centurion. Okay, you get a 10% coupon. And then you get a rec stipend. Remember the good old rec boy back in the day, 20,000 in rec. You get access to Jump Point magazine. You get access to the vault, you get access to the subscriber den, and you get early access to event tickets like when CitizenCon is coming around. Now, let's go back a little bit because some people don't ever, and this is where I think, okay, let me ask you the first question. Is it worth it? Is there value? And if so, if not, if there's some areas you got problems with, tell me what those problems are that are listed there.
So first of all, you talk about Netflix. I recently canceled my Amazon Prime subscription after 6 years. some long time. So I'm coming out of that. So that's something to get used to. So I am trying to manage my money a little bit better. But for me, for me personally, if you want to like fund the what subscription is supposed to do? It's supposed to help out with ISC. I'm sorry, Inside Star Citizen and Star Citizen Live.
Well, not just those. Any of the video production stuff, any of the community production stuff. It's supposed to be for any community production stuff.
Okay. All right, for CIG production, not community production.
Yeah, city. That's what I meant for the community. City's community production related stuff.
Yeah. So that's what this subscription is supposed to be for. So we pay the $10, $20 a month. You get back Star Citizen Live, Inside Star Citizen, and whatever else behind the ships, all that. That's what the $10 or $20 is for. And for me, yeah, I think it's worth it. I don't do it every month. I do it when, especially for me, it's a player that tip me over under. If it's a player that I want, I'll probably subscribe. If it's a player I don't want, I'll probably wait till next month to see what player comes up. That's me.
Okay.
But for other people, if you like getting that content when the ship in, sure.
Okay. There's a lot of stuff on this list, and I'm going to kind of hit on some of these. I'm going to go by one, and you tell me if is it worth it, okay? Early PTU access. For you, is it worth it?
No. No, especially that wave one where everything buggy. No, definitely not worth it for me.
All right. There are players who literally get it because they want the early PTU access, right? There are some people who literally subscribe for that, right? All right. Vehicle of the month. The fact that you get to try out whatever the vehicle is for that month for free. How you feel about that one?
This one can be worth it. It depends on what vehicle is available that month. So this one can be worth it for me. Yeah.
Okay. Flare.
Yes. Depending on what's available that month.
Merchandise discount 10%.
Always forget about this part. Not only worth it for me, might be for other people. I don't buy it. I haven't bought merchandise from Star Citizen. Sheesh.
Okay.
For what I say, 5 years.
Okay.
Since I bought merchandise. So yeah, not for me.
Okay. And just so you guys will know that when you're a subscriber, when you go to the store, you will see that there is a discounted price. So that's how we know the differences. If you're not a subscriber, you don't get to see what the discounted prices are. Rec, the stipend, rec. What about that? 20,000 rec.
No, not for me. I mean, maybe in the early days before we had the persistent or the PU or the PT or PU. I don't want to call it the baby PU. That's what they used to call it, but not since that came on. But before that, sure. Because what REC does is it allows you to rent ships, allows you to rent modules, rent weapons for the ship and stuff like that for a winning commander. It's only for a winning commander.
Yeah. I'm curious as to what they're going to do with REC eventually. Because there are people like myself who literally have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in REC because they didn't use it. And the question becomes, how will that translate, or what will it translate into? I'm hoping it will translate into something, but who knows what that might be.
I'm hoping it'll be maybe every 10,000 REC gets you one UC. Or maybe 100,000 REC gets you one UEC. Because there's some people who do a lot of REC.
One UEC?
Yeah.
One?
Yeah, I mean, because you don't want it to be too high because CIG will say no.
Fast card. You can't buy a bottle of water for one UEC. One? Oh my God!
How much REC do you have, Griff?
I don't know.
Exactly.
No, I don't have a ridiculous number, but hang on, I'll tell you in 2 seconds how much I have. but
Hold
that
on, let me look
just
at me.
seems like it would be a different number.
I have
Okay, I've got 3,224,000 in rec.
I have over 1 million rack.
Okay, I've got 3 million. Okay.
What did I say? 10,000 to 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One UEC. Oh,
10,000
fast
to
card.
1.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay.
10,000. I want CIG to
This
say
is-
yes. I
you're
don't want them to say no.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the thing.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I don't want them to say yeah, sure. I don't want them to say that either. I want them to think about it a little bit. Okay. Jump Point Magazine.
It depends on the month. As always, if there's a ship or a particular article that you're interested in, sure. If you're interested in like what they're showing right now, they're showing like the Guardian or the Fury. If you like those ships, sure. Yeah, that's worth it for me.
Okay. That one's a tough one for me. I like Jump Point, but there are a lot of people I know who don't even know that exists. And these areas that we're going into now are the things I'm concerned about because these are on the subscriber page when you go into your account. So one of the things that I wish CIG, and I know why they don't do it. Well, I think I know why they don't do it. But back in the day, for those of you who weren't around back in the day, CIG used to actually make a hardbound, fully color laminated, large book for Jump Point. It would combine all the jump points for that year, or I don't know how long, was it a year at least? And they were volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. They were beautiful. There were 3 volumes that they produced. They ran like around $25 or something like that, $35.
Well, they ran $25 and then the shipping was $35.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
another story,
Well,
though.
depending on where you ship to, yeah. But they were around like $25 to $30 for the books, and they were beautiful. But producing them was costly, and so they kind of kept it where it's just the PDF that you could look at online. I do wish that they produced those again for those who would like to collect the journey of the making of Star Citizen, because that's what those basically are. They don't just cover the ships; they cover just the development. And I wish that was still available. What were you going to say?
To be fair, technology and production has become so accessible now. People can collect all the PDF and make their own book. I mean, yeah, as long as you don't sell it. As long as you don't sell it.
No. That was a fully bound, color laminated book. I want the book. I want the collector's item to put on a shelf. I'm not trying to go print a bunch of PDFs. Those books were huge. They were huge. They weren't small.
Yeah. That coffee table. Table book.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I think. The vault was another thing. Some of you know about the vault. The vault is an area where they would put on the subscriber page, and this is sad that they don't do this. You know, maybe we need to figure out, we need to get an org or somebody like, God, what is their name? No. Ratarid, thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate you for doing that. Imperial Geographic. We need to get some people that will put together, you know, you've got people like Hazgaha. Beautiful screenshots, right?
Oh, okay.
They don't update the screenshots, but you know, we used to get those for desktops and stuff, right? All that type of stuff, which is great. To see new things like that come out is something that I miss. And then there's the subscribers den where people who are subscribers can connect through there. So those are the other areas I think they fail in. Yeah, but I think they fail in that area because you don't really hear a lot about it. You know what I mean? And so I think those areas fail. And then, of course, the last one is early access to event tickets. What are your thoughts on that one?
That one is worth it for me, especially if you want to get like a VIP ticket and those sell out instantly, depending on what kind of ticket you're getting. So that's worth it for me.
Okay.
But I do want to clarify, when I said the 10,000 to 1 thing for rec, I meant UEC. I don't mean the Alpha UEC. I mean UEC.
No, you said UEC. I know, and I said, yeah. You're going to give me
people in chat. People in chat were thinking Alpha.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, no. UEC. Yeah. Okay. Early access to event tickets. Yeah, I get a little bent out of shape about this one a little bit. Well, because they don't do enough events.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Yeah. Well, back in the day, they had PAX East, PAX West, PAX South.
Yeah. Right. You had right. You had events. Right. You had events that they would do, and then the other thing was they even had their own events at the studios from time to time. Right. And so I know there were people who didn't like them doing that. Right. Because they would have an event Like one year they had this event at the LA studio,
Like
and it was like,
ticket.
was it 350 or 250? I thought it was 250.
350.
Whatever it was,
Yeah.
was it 350? Okay. And you know, and it was lunch, and you were there all day, and you got to see all types of stuff. I'm not saying they should be doing that part of it necessarily, but I'm just saying, I wish there was other, and in the future, maybe, right? Maybe there will be things in the future. Now, I know that at one point when you had the subscription, no, that wasn't subscriptions. That was when you were concierge. Okay, so erase that idea. But anyway, I wish that there were other events that were held, but I don't know what that would look like. So
I think part of the issue, and I don't want to say part of the issue is this was before they came up with this before Star Citizen became the thing.
Very
Star
true.
Citizen kind of took over. Took over for these.
Very true. You're absolutely right. Okay, let's jump to the Imperator. Now, there's some slight differences between the Centurion and Imperator. Obviously, there's a financial difference. It's twice the amount of money, but there's twice the amount of things that you get. So, for example, PTU stays the same, but your vehicle of the month, usually CIG puts out 2 vehicles for that vehicle of the month for your tryout. You would get 2 of them instead of 1. Flare, you would get 2 instead of 1.
Oh, wait.
I'm sorry.
Wait. Instead of 12 months insurance, you get 24 months insurance for Imperator. That's the other difference.
Oh yeah, well I didn't even have that down here. Shoot.
Yeah, 24 months of insurance.
Yeah, that's for the insurance. Yeah, for the insurance. Okay. Flare, you get 2 instead of 1. Merchandise discount goes from 10% to 15%. Your shopping coupon for the coupon that you get, the annual one, you get 2 of those, and they're 20%. Okay.
One every 6 months, yeah.
One every 6 months, right. And then the merchandise discount is, the rec stipend is from 20,000 to 40,000 in rec. And then everything else is still the same. Jump Point Magazine, The Vault, Subscriber DN, Early Access, Imperator Test Play. Some people like to get the Imperator because they have a second account, or they like getting it and they'll give their extra items to, especially Flare, they'll send them to a friend or something like that.
Fine, a quick clarification: the Imperator Test Flight is only Imperator, and you get to try out a new vehicle upon full release. Flyable every week. Try out every new ship and ground vehicle for a full week upon release. That's only for Imperator. You don't get that.
Yes, if it's a new vehicle, yes. If it's a new vehicle, absolutely. Okay, any thoughts on this one? What do you think about the value here? Is it worth it?
The one I always get. I've never gotten the Centurion. I always get the Imperator.
Oh, really? Oh, you've always gotten Imperator?
Yeah, because I always like getting 2 flares instead of 1.
Okay.
That's basically what it is for me.
I got
you. The other and I like getting the 20% discount. Something about the coupon also. For Centurion, it's only maxed out. You get a 10% discount, yes, but it maxes out to $50. So
right.
If you spend $250, you get $50 off, and if you spend more than that, you still get $50 off. For Imperator, you get $100 off. So if you spend $500, you get you only spend $400. You get $100 off. So you spend $600, you still only get $100 off. So they're the maximum up to what amount of what the coupon goes up to.
That's the maximum amount that you can get off: $50 or $100. Okay. Okay, well, I started out with Centurion in the early days, and then eventually I changed over to Imperator because I realized there was some cool flair that was coming out, and I wanted my other character to get some of it, so I ended up doing that. And after that, I just got stuck on it. At that point, it's like, okay, $20. The other thing, though, is that I wanted to support the game in a different way, other than doing it with ships. And so by me doing this, it's easier for me, you know what I mean? Because I was like, okay, I'm already supporting it to continue it. And the social media production stuff is important to me. So being able to see all the shows in fastcart, we've been around since there were 5 shows a week, 2 shows a week. Now, there are some people who have felt a certain kind of way when CIG pulled back and said, well, we're paying $20. Y'all used to do 5 shows. Now you're only doing 2, or you're only doing 1 every other week. And they kind of feel like, they're not getting their value anymore. Right. But again, that's one element out of the 9 things that are listed here that people still get. So sure, it is less. I'll agree with you there, but it's not. These donations are not just based upon those shows. It is designed to support those shows, and I understand that. And we'll just have to see. We've seen this ebb and flow with what CIG has done on their social media levels of what they present. So We'll see what happens in the future.
And the president is right. Unless they change, the stuff don't support the community team, not the development. Then that's true.
Yes.
What we get, what we buy ship for, that supports the development.
Right.
So the subscriber stuff is only
it's for the community. The community production stuff. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and jump to this next one, FC, which is something I know that is near and dear to your heart. Bar Citizens. For those of you who've never gone to a Bar Citizen before, Bar Citizens are local gatherings where folks get together in their town, their city, or wherever they may be, and basically let other folks know in their community that they're holding a gathering, a social gathering, and folks come together and usually have something to eat, have something to drink, and talk about Star Citizen. That's basically what it is. It's been one big geek fest, basically. In the early days, this would happen just locally and people just got together. And then CIG began to embrace Bar Citizens even more when we would have a Citizen Con, usually the day before, the night before, there would be a Bar Citizen. And quite often, because Citizen Cons were held in the cities where the studios were, people from CIG would come and also intermix and hang out and talk with folk. And that became very popular, that people from Cloud Imperium would come. Now, unfortunately, in the early days, that would only happen if you were in Austin, if you were in Los Angeles, if you were in the UK or Germany, Frankfurt, that's when you would see them. But recently, over the last few years, they've expanded that into what they call Bar Citizen World Tour, where now, if there's a certain amount of people that will show up at an event, there's a great possibility that CIG, if you let them know that you're having an event, that they may send someone. And maybe one or two people from the community will come. Sometimes there's a developer who will come along. I know I've gone before, and I've had as many as 3 or 4 people show up at a Bar Citizen. It varies, right, depending. But usually there's a community person, and usually they'll bring a dev with them. And they come and they usually do giveaways, interact with folks, and basically hang out for the evening. FC, talk to me about your experience with Bar Citizen and what are your thoughts on value? Because it does cost something to go to these things still. Some Bar Citizens actually will charge at a door, depending, right? Because if they have to book a location, they may charge. And I know we've been to Citizen Cons where they actually, you get to get a ticket ahead of time to come to it. So give me your thoughts on Bar Citizens.
I think the value is if I'm not volunteering or working the Bar Citizen, it's worth it. If I have to work there, it's not worth it. No, I'm kidding. It can be fun either or, especially if you're if you're a social person, you're not too much of an introvert. You can be an introvert and still enjoy it. But if you're not too much of an introvert or too shy, I think these are worth it. I used to be part of the Boston Bar Citizen scene. I don't go to bars, so I'm not really good at that stuff. So that's why I step down and let other people handle it. But I got to meet a lot of new people. We all had a shared in-person Star Citizen, and it was fun to always fun to talk to people about our shared interests. And you always get like different perspectives. Like you hear something online, and people, you may or may not agree with them, but in person, like you get all sorts of opinions because not everyone is a form warrior like I may be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that to your point, Bar Citizens are in a way they're not what people expect, and in a way they are what people expect. Right. I know Paradis, our good friend Paradis, always teases because he goes to the Frankfurt Bar Citizen. He's told me some funny stories about going to the event. But these are gatherings for people who are of like mind, who enjoy talking about this. And it's amazing. People can, as you guys know, people can sit around and talk about Star Citizen for a long time. And so
we're so traumatized by that first virtual Bar Citizen.
Yeah, they can sit around and talk a long time, but there's a lot of excitement of people in the community coming together to have these conversations. And of course, whenever Cloud Imperium arrives at these events, it makes it even more special because these are people that we've known or seen for years, and we get to connect with them and talk with them. And they're usually very gracious and spend time talking with backers who attend these events. It is interesting to come to these events. I would say if you've never gone to a Bar Citizen, try going to one. You might find that it's actually something you enjoy. If you are somewhat of an introvert, you may find that when you go to this event, it is something that you enjoy because you're surrounded by other people who have a common likeness for something, and you may find that there is some you have a good time. I don't think I've ever known anyone who's gone and not really enjoyed it. Who felt like it was a waste of time. I think that they may have had some trepidation, but once they went, they said, "Hey, this was really a nice time. It was fun," and you can go as long as you want. If you just want to drop in for a few minutes, I've gone down to St. Louis. I've been up to Milwaukee. I've done a lot of places all throughout Illinois. Boston. Yeah, I was in Boston. I've done various ones, and I always enjoy myself when I go to them. So I do feel that these are worth it. If you have one locally that you can get to, some of us have driven few hours away to go participate in them, but it's a good way to connect with the community. And whether CIG is there or not, there's still a lot of fun to go to. So if you've got nothing to do on a Friday or Saturday night, hey, try one out. You may really find out that you enjoy it. Okay.
So the person that asked the question, so they asked why some of these are in yellow. Just as you know, it costs money to keep these sites up and running. If you donate money to advertise not advertise, but to announce your Star Citizen, those come up in yellow. That's all. They just designate that you're a supporter of the Star Citizen website.
Yep, exactly. Okay. Alrighty, let's hit this next one here, FC. This is a big one. Then we're going to take our commercial break. CitizenCon. As we know, this year, CIG is doing CitizenCon Direct. This is going to be something that they're live streaming. We've had this happen one other time before. Well, not one other time, but they've live streamed before. But this time, this is a much more concise, focused event that they're doing on things that we can expect over the next year. But CitizenCon in general has grown from, as Fastcart mentioned earlier, when we first went in 1980. Oh my God. My brain is fried.
50 years, 40 years.
I was going to say 1986. Yeah, from when we went in 2016. For the first time I went was 2016. And when we first went to that event, there was approximately 800 and some odd people at a theater in Los Angeles. And now CitizenCon has grown to an event of over 4,000 people in a convention center. And this is for a game that has not even been quote unquote completed. There's a lot of people who come to these events, and over the years, we've seen it consistently grow in the amount of people that participate, and also growth in what CIG has done over the years. It is now a 2-day event, usually lasting about 8 to 9 hours on the first day, and then on the second day, somewhere between maybe another 6 to 8 hours. And then, of course, Fastcart, as you know, there are bar citizens that take place. In the early days, there was like that bar citizen on Friday night. Now bar citizen starts on Wednesday. And there's one Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. Yeah, and then Saturday night. There's one 4 nights. Every night there's a bar citizen. Last year, Atmo Esports even held a racing event that's Sunday night afterward. It becomes literally almost, if you're all in both feet, it's a 5-day event at that point.
The year in 2018 in Austin, it was a Wednesday CitizenCon. So people had to take time off for work. That was one thing. But it was like
that's
that
right.
whole week with Bar Citizen.
Yeah, it
that
was.
whole week with Bar Citizen.
It was. And that was one of the times I do remember, you're right, it was during the week versus the weekend. That was interesting. Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's what I'm for.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. So give me,
from memory.
yeah. So give me your thoughts on CitizenCon. As far as value, because there is some expense in this, unlike the Bar Citizen, when it comes to going to these events.
Yeah, you got to pay for transportation, you got to pay for hotel, and you might have to pay for the Bar Citizen event, and you will have to pay for the CitizenCon ticket. It used to be, I think the cheapest one I remember from 2016 was like $80. I want to say
something like $80, something like that. Yeah,
it was $80. Then the following year they had VIP access, and those were $120 from 2018. Then in 2023, it became 2 days event, and it was $250.
Was it $199?
200.
Yeah, $199.
It was $199 it was $199 and $299 for the VIP. Yeah, so
that's what it was in 2023.
I want to say so. Yeah, it's $100 difference. I'm pretty sure.
I thought I remember it
You can
was
look it up.
2024 was that much. I can't remember
No,
now.
I don't know about 2024. I didn't go, but 2023 it was yeah.
I felt like it went up in 2024, but I could be wrong. I can't remember. Maybe
Oh, probably
somebody you
did.
guys remember what it
Yeah,
was and what the
I can look
prices
up
were.
in my bank account if you want me to. But
No, I don't want you to go that
anyway,
far.
yeah, but anyway, for me it was it. I had a good time. Um, some people may argue the VIP apartment may not be worth the extra $100, especially like if you don't get to hang out in the VIP section or whoever or however they set that up. That may not be worth it, but definitely like a regular ticket would be worth it, especially for 2 days.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think to your point, you're right. Back in the early days, it was that flat $80 and you just got to go sit wherever you got to sit when you came in. I think that in Austin, when we went in 2018, that was when we saw that split ticket thing happen. And I remember the differences were that you got, and this is still the difference today. The people who bought the VIP pass got a different bag, and I don't remember if there was any real distinctive differences in the goodie bags, except for I remember they gave us, it wasn't shirts that year. There was something that made those, other than the fact the bags were different color, there was something that was uniquely different. The other thing was that you got to sit down on the lower level front if you were in there, versus if you had the regular tickets, you got to sit further back on the sides and in the other area. So seating was tied into it at that time as well. When we went to Los Angeles, I'm trying to remember in 2023, was there some distinction?
The bag was different. The color bag was different. They had minor differences in
It was
the
something.
in the content. Everybody got like a merchandise coupon for something, I believe.
Yeah, see, the problem is I've always gotten the VIP, so I never really
Oh,
know
well,
what's
kind
in
of
the
VIP
other
also.
one, you know. But
And by the way, I did look it up. It was $2.99 for VIP in 2023.
in 2023, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember now. Okay. Well, maybe somebody remembers who went, what this difference was if you got the standard ticket at that time. And then in 2024, pricing was, well, I guess it was the same then. Let's talk about the expenses though. The admission is one thing, but, depending on where the event is held, like fastcart for you, there's a difference between flying like to Austin and then flying to Los Angeles, right? For ticket pricing,
Yeah.
accommodations, same thing, right? Austin's
the
more
first time
affordable.
Oh, go ahead.
I was say Austin's more affordable versus like
Yeah.
Los Angeles. We're gonna say
Yeah, the first time I went to LA was in 2016. It wasn't that bad, but I think we were doing test house for that year, so it was, quite a few of us in one house, so that
Yeah.
distributed the cost a bit.
Yeah.
And then we all shared an Uber and whatnot to go to and from and play stuff like that. That was fun.
Mhm.
The second time I went alone, not alone, but I had my own hotel room, so that added to the price. Plus, it was post-COVID, so prices were higher in 2023 than it was in 2016.
Mhm.
So it was more expensive, definitely, and yeah, but I still had fun. As far as Austin, like you said, 2018 it was cheaper. Um, I still had fun. Well, I always have fun because I love hanging out with people and putting names to faces and meeting new faces. And one thing I've noticed is that as the years goes on, citizen cards become more and more diverse. Like I remember that first year in 2016, I couldn't quite find as many people who looked like me as I did in 2023. There's a lot more people who look like me in 2023. So that was the other thing, seeing how CitizenCon had evolved as the event over the years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the diversity is also because of awareness too, right? Back in 2016, Star Citizen was definitely in the grips of Scam City at that time, right? And, it was not. I don't know. It wasn't. It was a tough year, and you can even go back and watch old CitizenCon videos and stuff and see how the group has grown. And diversity is actually age diversity. When men to women, females, everything just has expanded over the years, right? And has rounded out more over time. But depending on where you go, this can be a costly event. And one thing that is difficult, or I struggle with, is that everybody can't do CitizenCon, right? I think it's something that everybody would enjoy, but it's not something everybody can do. Some people have job obligations. Some people have family obligations. Some people are just not in a financial space to
It was me.
drop
Because,
$1,000 to
right.
$3,000. You know what I mean? To travel
Especially
somewhere
like
like
going
that.
overseas, because I've only been to the one on the west. I've never been to the one in Europe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but but still, even going to LA, you could drop $1,000 or a couple grand. Just, you don't have to go overseas. I'm just saying
Mhm.
everyone doesn't have the facility to do it, and whether it's because of time or finances. And that's the thing that saddens me, because I think that when people can go to a CitizenCon, one of the benefits to going to CitizenCon, other than the benefits of like going to a Bar Citizen, where you get to talk to other backers and stuff like that, is that you do get to meet and talk with people from CIG. And I think that interaction is, first of all, it's good for you as a backer, because you can ask some questions and, believe it or not, get some answers. It's not always as tight-lipped as you may think it is when you go to something like that and talk with the devs. But there's another byproduct that comes from CitizenCon that is not often spoken of, and that is the byproduct of what it does for the staff that work at CIG. They they articulate the fact that when they connect with you guys, with the backers, that reinforces their commitment to working on the game, and they listen to what you have to say about what's not good, what doesn't work. They want to hear what it is that you have to say, and it also validates them more, that when people tell them, we appreciate what you're doing, we know it's tough, or even when you tell them there's something that you don't like, it helps them tremendously, and it re-energizes them. A couple of them told us that during COVID, that was a very difficult time for them, because they have been so used to being able to connect and get feedback, and that when we had that CitizenCon right after COVID, that they were so hyped about getting with folks and talking with the backers. And so I know a lot of people think that they don't listen, or they're not paying attention, or they don't read Spectrum, but that's not the reality when you talk with them. And it's not until you talk with them that you can find out where their head really is as employees at that company, and how they feel about you guys, who are both supporting them, and of course, financially supporting the development of the game. So I would say CitizenCon, if you can go, and we've said this before, every time we've gone to CitizenCon, if you can go, we encourage you to go. Try it out. Some of us cannot make it across the water, and we get that, whether you're in the UK, Europe, Germany, or if you're coming here, or vice versa. But there are people, we've known people that have come from Australia, from Germany, who've come over to the States, and vice versa. People who are in the States who have gone over there. But I would tell you that if you ever get a chance to go to CitizenCon, go. It is well worth the time and effort. And of course, make a trip out of it, right? Don't just go for CitizenCon. Wherever you go, spend some time there while you're there too, right? Don't just go for 2 days. Go for like 3 or 4 or 5 days and get some time in.
By the time you get that hotel and flight to LA, the only thing you can afford is McDonald's or Burger King. So I don't know.
Well, but the good thing about it is that's why you have to plan for it, right? This isn't a spur of the moment trip. That's one of the reasons why people want to hear when a date is being announced, because they want to book a place, they want to get the best prices for it, they want to get their airfare in place, and there is the fact that you're going to be there for that time. So it literally becomes like a vacation, right? You really do have to plan for it. And for some people like me, when I retired, I said, this is the one thing I'm going to do each year. I'm going to go to CitizenCon. That's the thing that I treat myself to. And it's not, that's just the thing that I want to do for myself, You going to say FC? You going to say something? Or is that it?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, listen, we are going to jump in real quick and do a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation talking about, is Star Citizen worth it? So don't go nowhere, and we'll see you in just a hot second. And if you are watching us right now, that means you are a supporter of the Soul Citizens. And as always, we want to tell you thank you for all that you do, and for being here with us today as we talk about the value of Star Citizen. Is it worth it? FC, anything you want to say to the donors, the supporters, our friends?
I want to thank all the people who haven't been joke banning me, so that's always a plus. So appreciate that. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for buying our merchandise. And yeah, so you didn't want a merchandise thing this week, Gary.
I do it at the end. I will run it. I will
You
make
do it
sure
at
I
the
run
end.
it.
Okay,
I will
all
make
right.
sure. I will
So,
try to
yeah,
make
thank
sure.
everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, Sis Fun, come on, man.
What a serious dude. Oh, he threw one in on you. Oh my God. Okay. Thank you, Mukul. Good to see you, man. Hey, I hope you're doing well. I heard about what happened. The Admiral filled us in, so make sure you rest up, bro. Take care of yourself over there. Alrighty. We are back. Okay, we probably just gonna hit on a couple more topics here tonight, and these are a little bit more esoteric conversations that we're having. We've been talking about everything from ships and merchandise and going to venues and attending CitizenCon and all this other stuff, but we're going to talk about a little bit different aspect of the worth, and then this is where I am going to get past value and talk about, is Star Citizen worth it? And this is in a different area. The first one, oops, I don't want to hit that. That was the wrong button. I want to hit that button. I want to talk about this. And this is a conversation that we're going to have with you guys. If you want to chime in into chat, feel free and drop it in. This idea of dual development, fastcart, was something that CIG, I think, was unique to them. I don't know necessarily of anybody else who did this thing where they're developing two games simultaneously, and those games
AAA
are
games.
well, it'll make a difference if it's independent games. I'm just saying the fact that they're taking on a single player game and a multiplayer game, and they're
Same
both
universe.
and they're both married to each other technically, right?
Right.
So, yeah, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, CIG could have went the route of saying, "Hey, we're going to work on our single player game first, and then do the MMO," or they could have done it the other way around and did the MMO, and then said we're going to put which is kind of what they're doing to a certain degree, right? But the fact that these two kind of have a symbiotic relationship, that they actually impact the development of each other. I don't know. Do you think that this is going to be, when it's all said and done, people are going to be like, it was worth it? Or are they going to be like, nah, y'all just should have put out one game and called it a day?
It'll be interesting. I mean, it's hard to predict because we don't know what Squadron 42 how good Squadron 42 will be, or if it will be good at all. We hope it will be. So I think it depends on the success of Squadron 42. Then we can probably tell whether or not it'd be worth it. But as far as right now, I'm enjoying following the development. Some people complain how CIG is not as open as they used to be, and I think it's partly true, but mostly because they didn't want to spoil Squadron 42 to us, or when they become too open and something happens in the same amount, like the roadmap, for instance, they get a lot more pushback than what many people feel that they would deserve. So, in my opinion, I think the dual development is worth it so far as of this moment, but we'll see when 2016 and 2022 releases, and hopefully it's as good a game as we hope it could be.
So, okay, so let me ask you this then. One of the big words that everybody used to spout out at CIG was the word transparency, right? And there were people who felt like CIG was not being transparent enough.
Right.
But there's also this thing of people who will say nobody likes watching the sausage be made, right? And for those of you who don't know what that adage means, it means that making sausage is not a pretty thing, that people enjoy eating it, the taste of it. But if you had to watch it actually be made, you may not like it in the end. And is there some truth in that? I mean, there's this contract or this agreement of transparency and letting us see things, but then warts and all. But then when those warts show up, when we see the things that we don't like, our response can often be not a good one. Is that good? I mean, how do you feel about?
I don't hear people complaining when a different AAA game is released, and like let's say there's a new trailer or teaser for a game that you really want to see, but it's just a teaser or trailer. You still have to wait 1 or 2 years before you hear something again, before they really ramp up the marketing. You don't hear about the development, or maybe you hear like a rumor about it, if anything. But by the next time you hear about that game, it's released.
So, but let me ask a question: is that the reason why you don't hear it is because people aren't invested?
No, they are invested, but
No.
What,
You know a word I'm using. I ain't talking about interested. I'm saying invested. Money on the table invested.
okay. Well, we got pre-order. That's about it. But other than that, no. I think people are interested. I think that there are different levels of investment or interest, or is what I want to say. You're talking about investment. People can pre-order a game, and then when the game releases, they get the game, and they, whether or not the game is good, or in their opinion good, it happened on a game. But you don't get that. Oh, we decided to do this because of this, or we didn't do this because of that. You don't hear all that when it comes to
Right.
other games.
Right. So Captain Jones
And also,
says, go ahead.
you don't necessarily get to put feedback during the middle of the development of the game either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Captain Jones says CIG can be too transparent at times. So here's the deal. If they didn't say certain things, they didn't tell us certain things, and we didn't know about certain things, we probably wouldn't be taking high blood pressure medicine all the time, right? But there's also a community of us, or a group of us, that want to hear all that stuff. So do you think CIG, this was a faux pas? Do you think that this was maybe not a good thing? Like, that transparency thing sounds good. It sounds like, man, this gives me, and mind you guys, when I say investment, y'all know I'm not talking about like investment, like financial ROI. I'm talking about your mental, emotional support, time, all that is what I'm referring to by investment. Do you think that by adding transparency, that added to my feelings of how I feel about the development? Because if that transparency deal wasn't there, like if there was this quote unquote obligation to tell me stuff, I probably would not be so whatever. I'd be kind of in the dark more. But do you think that because we're in the light more, that also creates a problem?
I don't know about problem, but it definitely creates. It's in case I'm going to put it this way: after this development, depending whether or not you want to call it open or closed, or too open or too closed, I don't see another development company going out and saying we're gonna show you how the sausage is made the way CIG has done it. I think this is probably a unique unicorn, as the case may be, when it comes to game development. I don't see anyone else doing this anytime soon, if not ever, or maybe like another 50 years before we see another game development like this. Put it that way.
Yeah. And if you were to look at the bulk of the development transparency, most of it's been about Star Citizen, much more than Squadron 42, right?
At least now, yes.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
now.
Well, I mean, no. I'm thinking back when. I'm saying comparatively, there's way more information. You think there was more about Squadron back in the day? Yeah, I'm talking about information. Okay. I'm talking about, because remember, for the big thing that we wanted back in the day, we looked forward to the vertical slice. Remember, that was like the big thing we looked forward to. And there was like a couple slices like that they did. They did 3 of them actually. In out of all these years. Go ahead.
See, what I thought you were mentioning, I thought you meant the interest between Squadron 42 versus Star Citizen. I think it had definitely gone away from Squadron 42 more to Star Citizen compared to like maybe the first 6 years versus the last 6 years.
Right. Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. I'm really wondering No, that's never going to happen, Admiral. Don't even think that.
I was gonna say.
That's not
I
gonna
know.
even happen.
I don't want to say never. I don't want to say never.
Happen. That's not going to happen.
Maybe not in 50 years, but it will happen.
Yeah, not in 7 days. It's not going to happen. I don't know. It's I just wonder about this dual development thing, whether this will be whether this will in the end show itself as being this was probably the best path to go, even with all the bumps and stuff, or whether it will be like we got to the end, but boy, oh boy, man, it may not have been the best way to go. But I think because of the technology dynamic of it, the PU keeps us interested, right? Because Squadron 42 standing on its own without the PU would not raise $800 million. It wouldn't raise $400 million. It wouldn't raise $400 million.
And also, if it was more closed development, they might have put in the games pull out faster.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't have made nearly as much money as they have made.
Yeah, Admiral, I get it. Yeah, you did an annual appraisal using GPT. That's fine. Making a game is a different dynamic, though. I think you can do the mechanics of a game. I'm not so sure if everything you want in a game like Star Citizen would be done in 7 days. I'm not saying AI couldn't do it. You just said 7 days. I just don't think that's gonna.
I mean, in 50 years, we'll be using quantum computers and stuff like that.
In 50 years, you'll be the game. The AI will be playing you. How's that? I'll give you that something to think about. I'll give you something else to think about. How about that? But yeah,
weird simulations.
Yeah, really. AI will be running everything in 50 years. Okay.
We're the Star Sim.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm curious to see. You and I both jokingly and seriously said we're looking forward to seeing the making of Star Citizen. The behind the scenes, right? The behind the scenes of what that's going to look like, and maybe it won't be until the end of time we'll tell whether or not it was worth it. Right? Was it worth it when it's all said and done? Right. The next one I want to ask about is the open development, which we just talked about, and that's the live service in the PTU. There are some people who do not play the PTU. There are some people who play both of them. There are some people who do the PTU, and then after the PTU is done, they play the live for 1 week, and then they don't play anymore because they were in the PTU the whole time. You got all these different things going on with that. Your feelings about the fact that CIG is running a live service. Now, some games, they're making the game and they'll say, this weekend, we're going to open the servers up. You guys come in and play it for 2 days, 3 days, a week. Then we're going to shut down. And then you won't hear from us for another month or 3 months or 6 months. Ashes of Creation has done this. There are other games that have done this. And it's kind of an industry standard to open it up for a period of time and then shut it down. CIG runs a live service, right? The PTU does that, but it still runs this thing. Your thoughts on that? Do you think would it be better for CIG just to open up and we forget about Star Citizen for a while? Or do you think that this is a part of the... they wouldn't make the money?
They wouldn't make as much money. I mean, they are basing their salaries and stuff like that based on the money that comes in year to year. So if they were to change their formula too much and not make as much money as they in the next year they did the previous year, that'll hurt them. And I don't know. I mean, maybe they should have some preparation or some leeway, or I don't know what word you want to what the financial word you should use for that. But they have some backup in case they don't make as much money as they have. So there's some mitigation for that. But if they were to change too much, the community, I don't want to say we'll shut down on them, but I just want to say they may close their wallets compared to what happened. Yeah. And I mean, this year has been a banner year for them. So I would think that they would want to continue this for as long as possible.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not against them doing it. I think that to your point, I think that these two go hand in hand. The PTU is not enough to generate money. The PTU is enough to generate interest, right? But it's when you move from the PTU to the live service, and when the live service does well, whenever that is, it is what generates greater interest, right? When people have good experiences in the game, that's what keeps them coming back. It keeps them anticipating, and looking forward to, and then the PTU fulfills what we're looking forward to, right? Getting a taste or a sample or an idea of direction that we're going to go in. So I think that the two, in this unique case, to your point, this is a unique case, that they are kind of intertwined with each other, especially when it comes to revenue and interest. Because even if it's revenue, like I know Ashes of Creation, I think some other games have done this before, where when they, like, I know Ashes did this, they charged for people to go into the next patch, right? When they wanted to do the next thing, as another way of bringing in some revenue. Not saying yay or nay to it. I'm just saying that's how they brought in additional revenue. I agree with you. I don't know that CIG would have raised the amount of money that they've raised at this point if they were only on a, only open it up to people for a period of time, then shut it down and go back to the club and work. I don't know if that would have worked out so good. Okay. That's all I got to say.
I mean, I'll be like you mentioned before. I'll be interested in that making of to see what CIG thoughts or whoever is putting that together, what their thoughts about it is. But I'm looking forward to that day. But it'll be like maybe being a fly on the wall to give us some perspective on that.
Yeah,
it'll be. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, there's a lot that we're going to have to see where this goes in the future, because even with us moving toward 1.0 eventually, I still think that it'll be interesting to see what the format is at that point, right? How things get unveiled to us at that point. What are you going to say?
Just remembered, we got a little piece of that in 2016, because remember they wanted to do a vertical slice of Squadron 42, but then at the week before Citizen Con they changed their mind, and then later on they had a video saying they put out a video saying why they changed their mind. So it could be something like that.
Yeah, it's true. That's very true. Maverick, thank you so much for the 5,000 bits. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Rad, in case I didn't say it earlier, Rad, thank you for the gift sub as well. Thank you. Okay, I think I might have missed that one. Thank you. He said he burped. Okay. Yeah, Admiral, we'll continue our AI conversation. I got some interesting thoughts on what you were sharing and some good stuff up there. Okay, well, that is it. We have hit our mark for today. So okay, one thing we didn't talk about, Fastcart, before I wrap it up, is Star Citizen worth it?
I was going to do that.
You already know where I was going to go?
No. I was going to bring that up in case if you didn't. So go ahead.
Well, no, you can bring it up. Whatever it was, maybe let's see if it's the same thing.
So the question is to whether or not Star Citizen is worth it. It depends on who you are.
Okay.
For me, it is worth it. I'm guessing for Griffin it's worth it. He'll say in a moment after I'm finished. But for me, it's definitely worth it. I'm having fun. The community makes it worth it. Hanging out with you all, especially in Discord, makes it worth it. Yes, there are some, I don't want to say disadvantages to this, but I think the advantages far outweigh the disadvantages, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And all I can say to that is ditto. I would say that a tremendous amount of what this is, and mind you, this is at my stage in life, guys, where I have a lot of luxury. And what I mean by luxury is that I have a family I don't have small kids anymore. They're all grown. I'm retired, so I have a lot more time to do things that I want to do. And because of that, Star Citizen for me is worth it. I literally went to my very first convention the year I retired. And ever since then, I've enjoyed it. But even more to your point, Fastcart, I would say probably 50% of my enjoyment comes from the community. And it comes from people like you, not just those of you who are here, but the community that I've been able to surround myself with backers and people that I talk to daily, or that I've met at venues or met at a Bar Citizen. Those are the things that have been the payoff for me. In light of all the bumpy roads, you guys have made the bumpy road and the potholes and the frustrations and the aggravations and all the other shins. You guys have helped make it worth it, because we're all taking that journey together. And it can be a very frustrating one, but it also can be very exciting and rewarding. And so that's why we do what we do each week here. That's why we're here for you guys, and not just for you guys, for ourselves, because we're keeping ourselves encouraged. And we're really looking forward to seeing some great things happen over the next year or two, hopefully. So I want to say thank you to Fastcart for being here. I want to say thank you to all of you all who've been saying some very cool things in chat tonight. And you guys have given some really good comments to a lot of the stuff that we shared today about the value of being a part of Star Citizen and the Star Citizen community. Let's get ready to talk about what's coming up, Fastcart. What we have coming up. Next Sunday, we are doing a show called The Apollo Has Landed. I'm glad that we postponed this show because originally I was supposed to do this show 2 weeks ago, and things have changed so much with the medical in the Apollo that the dust will have settled by next week, hopefully. And so next week we're going to be covering this topic of the Apollo has landed. Definitely going to be looking forward to having a conversation, not just about the Apollo, but talking about the whole medical career and the direction that CIG is going. And I'm sure you guys will have plenty of things to share with us about that. So hopefully you guys will be able to join us on next Sunday, the 28th. I'm not sure if I'm going to be here or not. It's my birthday weekend. I may not be here. But if I am, I'll be here with you guys to talk about that particular subject. Let's see, Fastcart.
What better way to spend your birthday than with us?
Yeah. Don't put me on the spot. Don't put me on the spot to answer that. Okay. I said it's my birthday weekend, so it's not my birthday, so that'll be fine. I don't mind spending my time with you guys. I just don't know if my family's doing anything, so that's what I'm not sure of. So it all depends on what they tell me. Let's see. FC, did we have any questions? I didn't even check Q&A. Did we have anything in there, or was it sparse and empty this week? Which is fine if it is.
We got
one less thing we have to do.
One joke band and one canned joke. That's about it.
That's the most we had to worry about. Okay, I am not mad about that. Okay, well, you know what? We are going to. You know what? I'm going to send folks over to, because I talked about his video earlier, the 5-star. Why don't we send folks over to the 5-star? Because I recommended that video earlier, and don't forget, we did put that in chat for you all. So check out the 5-star when you get a chance. I think you'll really like that video. He did the shadow notes and some really good stuff. But we are going to send you over there. And don't forget, next week, join us on next Sunday for The Apollo Has Landed. FC, thank you again, as always. Appreciate you being here, helping out with the show tonight.
Oh, and don't forget, I have a Flight to Rhythm coming up on the People's Radio on Friday, 2100 UTC or 4 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome. All right, you guys make sure you check out Fastcart. Throw some support over there to him. And as always, don't forget, check out our merchandise. Don't forget to check us out on social media. And hopefully we'll see you guys on next Sunday. Until then, stay safe, take care of yourself. And as always, peace, love, and soul. Take care. Ciao.